Right, let's go. Hello. The six people who are currently watching. Nice. Hello, Gavin. Hello, Chris, and hello, to the eight people. Six other people. Hello, Harry. Five other people. Four people watching. Great. As soon as I started, half the viewers left. um, Hi. How you doing? How's things? How's your week been? How's everybody's week been? I'm gonna stick that on there. Woo. Yeah, we're live. We're good. We're ready. I say we. I'm here. Three of you are. I'm on time this week. Nice job. Good planning. Um. Hello, Ryan. How you doing? Woo. So what have I been doing this week? Um. Is it still on there? No, it's not. It's upstairs. I've been testing Corsair's new AIO. Not AIO. Air cooler. The A500. It's a cooler that it marks Corsair's re-entry into the air cooler market. It's pretty interesting. I think I'm gonna move a little bit that way, just a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like £90 for an air cooler, and it's not that amazing. Like, it's certainly not bad, but it does only have four heat pipes for a dual tower design. Only two fans compared to Noctua's three available. And yeah. RGB though? No! It's a Corsair product that doesn't have RGB! What? I never thought I'd say that. And I mentioned that in the review. I never thought that I would say Corsair product, no lighting for RGB. But it doesn't. So yeah, deal with that. I know that some people like. I think Ish is a detractor of RGB. Um, what I find funny is that I say in the video, but like it's some people will absolutely love that it doesn't have RGB, and some people will absolutely hate that it doesn't have RGB, and it's a weird one. But yeah, for £90, the cooler that's on there, I appreciate it's currently like pitch black inside that system, but the cooler that's on there is the Fractal Design S24. It's a 240mm AIO, and in my experience with AIOs, that is hands down the best 240mm AIO there is. It might not necessarily be the perfect one for in every category, but for me, it's the best all rounder. It supports AM4 out of the box. It's a standard Asetek design, so it's nice and easy to mount. Actually, mounting it is one of the easiest things you can do with it. Also, it has a little fan hub on the radiator and a cable that runs through the tubing, so you only ever need to plug in one fan header for both the pump and both of the fans. You can also turn the dial to change it so that it goes from either auto, where it has its own temperature sensor and it will just work itself out, or you can or you can have what you call it in PWM mode, so your motherboard is controlling all that. But yeah, surprisingly, that also doesn't have RGB, but it's it's a very nice, very subtle, stylish design. Really like it. I think Corsair could be sued for not having RGB in a product, right? Um, Obviously, I mean, it's basically their only product at this point is RGB. So, you two are still in the voice channel. uh, um, Have you tried the new Chromium-based Microsoft Edge? I have not. Um, I assume as a Microsoft developer, you have. Um, my assumption is if it's Chromium based, it's no different than Opera, Chrome, Vivaldi, and all of the other Chromium based, Chromium, I suppose, web browsers, right? I assume that it does have uh what you call it, extra features. You know, the whole like drawing on your web page and stuff that they launched with. But the fact that it's oh dear, the fact that it is Chromium based means that all of the well, I assume anyway, it means that all of the Chrome web plugins that are available now work in Edge, which means that it's I assume it means that it's now a browser that comes with Bing as its default search engine, that has Microsoft tracking crap in it, and also reports to Google, I assume. All of my extensions transferred over and it's fast. Okay, but would like so what's the point in like I understand why it exists. It exists because Microsoft has always bundled an internet browser in Windows, and it exists because if they can trap users into using their browser, they make more money, right? So I get why it exists. Why would I ever use it? Like, I have four web browsers: Opera, Vivaldi, Chrome, and Firefox. Um, why do I need another one? It exists so people have something to install Firefox on. I think Dan would be proud of that. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Why do you need four? In no particular order. Business, YouTube, personal. Don't want it. Don't want that stuff in another browser. Also, web development testing. It's quite useful to have at very least Chrome and Firefox, because those are the obviously Chromium's like 90% of web traffic, but um, having Firefox is useful for web development stuff as well. Thank you, Chris, for allowing that. Since Ish isn't here and I didn't, that means you did. GG. um, message deleted by Chris. Oh, you can't delete it from the screen. Oh dear. Um. So yeah. Also, hello Pablo. Nice to see you. I suppose on time this week. You normally turn up with like 30 seconds left on the stream, which is you know, always fun. um, in terms of other stuff I've been reviewing this week, that's hands down the Index headset. I just finished a review on it today. I really like it. I don't know whether I can justify the £919 price tag for the full kit, including the shiny new controllers. But these controllers plus much nicer headset compared to the Vive genuinely make it a significantly better experience, because these let you interact with the VR world so much closer to reality. The fact that you click them on, and then they track your individual, and pressure as well, the individual finger, and you can, this is the default state. You're meant to leave your hand open, and then you can go and grab stuff in game. And for a game like Boneworks or for Half-Life Alyx, when that comes out, this is like game changing. So it's really cool. it sucks that, you know, just to buy the controllers on their own is £260, and to buy, like I said, the full kit with the Gen 2 lighthouses that whine like hell, and the headset and the controllers is 919. So yeah. Do you still have the Vive, and how much? Well, see, the problem is that all of this is backwards compatible. So you can use the old Vive controllers with the new headset and the new lighthouses. You can use the old headset with the new controllers and the old lighthouses. You can, like, any combination of those three items, you can use them in. And I really want to keep the Vive controllers, but obviously trying to like get rid of a Vive, like selling a Vive without controllers, is a much tougher task than selling it as the full kit that it came with. So yeah. But the problem is that basically, you know, if I'm gonna sell the Vive, it's a couple £100, right? And you know, to buy even secondhand Vive controllers, they're like 80 or £100 each. So it would cost me about the same, especially after shipping and eBay fees or whatever else, assuming I sold it there, to sell the Vive as it is to just like keep the headset just for the controllers. Like, it's a weird world. Also, hello Ish, how you doing? How's your week been? Um, yeah, actually, I came up with a new couple of series this week that I'm going to be working on and releasing at some point. One of them is effectively Amazon's choice. So you know, if you go to Amazon and you search, you know, gaming monitor, gaming monitor 144 hertz, whatever else, right? Amazon will recommend you either one product or a set of products in that category, and I will be basically looking at how to do that, or like looking at those products and seeing how good they actually are and if they're worth, you know, being called Amazon's choice. Which should be pretty interesting. Get to check out some cool stuff. A lot of the time, especially for cheaper stuff, I'll probably, unless they're from like big name brands, I'll probably end up just buying the products myself. Which means I'll probably end up doing giveaways of those types of products. Like, I want to get Amazon's Choice gaming mouse, which is like a £15 no name Chinese brand one. But I don't need another gaming mouse. I've got, you know, 30 here or something stupid. So I'll probably do giveaways on stream for those products, or in the Discord maybe. So yeah, that should be interesting. Uh, you're cooking ribs for dinner. Nice. Sounds good. What you? What's the marinade and saucing? You mean Amazon Basic, not Amazon Choice? No, I mean Amazon Choice. Like, go to Amazon, search 1080p gaming monitor, and normally the second option down has a little blue banner that says Amazon's Choice next to it. It could be a BenQ monitor, Asus, AOC, someone like that, but it says Amazon's Choice there. That's the one their algorithm recommends for that search term. I'm having to code a website in Notepad++ that's HTML, which is so easy but so boring and annoying when I want to change something. Download VS Code. That is a fantastic free bit of software that lets you run, manage, build web stuff, including basic HTML, JavaScript. I've been using it for React for the project that me and Dan are working on. And yeah, it's great. Check it out. Should make things easier. Also, should have some level of like IntelliSense type thing. Ryan will know what I'm talking about with IntelliSense, but or is it IntelliSense? What's the thing. The like when you're writing in C# or whatever, Visual Studio gives you, you know, suggestions and tooltips and stuff. Oh, it is IntelliSense. Yeah. So that VS Code has that too for whatever language you're writing in. QuickSync, that's Intel's video, like use the GPU to encode video. I think. Is that real? I don't know anymore. I thought you said Intel. No, Visual Studio, Microsoft. Barbecue ribs in the oven, low effort, high gain. Fair play, fair play. Can't. My teacher wants me to make it in Notepad++. I mean, fair. I don't think I ever listened to any teachers, so I'm probably not the best person to talk to. A type of autocomplete for coding. I've seen that on a few IDs, some better than others. Yes, it depends on the ID and what language you're writing in. IntelliSense is definitely one of the better ones that I've tested or I've used myself, because you can, you know, if you try to remember the, say, let's say you haven't written in C# in a while, for example, and you want to know how to do a for loop, you would just type for brackets, and then it would give you the syntax for how to do that, in a sort of tooltip type thing. Auto completes functions and variables that you've already assigned and stuff. So yeah, very handy. I'm using Dreamweaver in college, but can't use it at home. Sadly, not legally, anyways. God, Dreamweaver is old. I had to use Dreamweaver in my IT lessons like 10 years ago. So yeah, that's how old it is. I used it. Should I buy an MSI B450 Tomahawk Max or an Asus X470 Gaming F? They both support Ryzen 3000. So the X470 board is likely slightly higher end, but the MSI board likely has a better BIOS, might be slightly more stable in my experience, and may also be a slightly newer board if I remember rightly. The B450 Tomahawk Max is the newest version of that board. So yeah. Nice. Also, Adam, I meant to answer this earlier, but what's the best GPU for streaming and gaming, AMD or Nvidia? I think Nvidia, but I want to make sure. Love the vids, keep it up. Thank you very much. So overall, the general consensus is that the new NVENC encoder, that's Nvidia's graphics card or H.264 encoder that's built into the graphics cards, is better than AMD's VCE encoder. I personally haven't tested a new AMD card like the new or the newer 5700 XT against a new NVENC card, mostly because I don't have any of those new AMD cards. But that's the general consensus. So if you want to stream using the GPU's built-in encoder, so the other VCE or NVENC encoders, then right now, yes, Nvidia is the better shout. You can use X264 CPU encoding instead, which is certainly an option. And assuming you have a powerful enough CPU, then that can actually lead to better overall image quality, at the cost of a significant amount more performance loss in games for you, and can also, depending on your setup and settings, can be pretty intensive on the video output as well. In terms of raw horsepower, I would check out some recent benchmarks. So do check that out. You have a 2700 CPU. Nice. It's actually the same one I have in here. But yeah, that should be decent enough for X264 encoding. If you want to, you can certainly try it out and see what you think. Certain games and certain settings can make a pretty big difference. Oh dear. But yeah, overall, if you're streaming on the graphics card, Nvidia right now, I think. Hello, Martin. How you doing? Start again from the beginning. I mean, no. uh, Tech the Sean, do you think Intel will drop the prices at all for 10th gen desktops to compete harder with AMD? Um, I honestly don't know. What's interesting is AMD Nvidia stock price, and I'll check it. Um, See what it's currently at, but I'm pretty sure Intel stock price has not had a drastic dip, um, despite what seems like pretty dwindling performance overall. Um, you look at the server space and you can see um, them not doing great. AMD's EPYC CPUs are pretty insane. Yeah, so the what was it? So Intel stock price year like from the last year is up like 22%. It did have a few dips into the red, but is currently um, trending quite upwards, um, which is quite impressive. Um, and so I don't know whether the fact that they're clearly not feeling that pressure in their overall market. Um, I don't know whether they would actually feel the need to drop prices or whether they will try and maximize short term gain at cost of um, brand appearance and brand worth to the enthusiast consumer. Um, because what's interesting is Intel has a lot of marketing money, and it shows compared to AMD. For example, if you look at Linus's channel, if you look at the majority of the build guides they do, every non-sponsored by Intel build guide they do is a AMD Ryzen chip in one form or another now. But the majority of either build guides or times where they show what system they are using, not necessarily for benchmarks, um, it's an Intel system in some form, um, and it's like sponsored by Intel or someone like Asus got MDF Market Development Fund from Intel to make that happen and make that be an Intel system. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting position. Um, I don't see them dropping it that drastically right now. Like I said, they don't really have the pressure to do that from shareholders. So it seems. So yeah. Um, in gaming, I barely use more than 25% CPU. I have no idea what encoder AMD drivers use. So the encoder is based on the H.264 encoder decoder chip that's built, or circuit that's built onto the GPU. It's a full separate part of the chip that they use to speed up um, encoding and decoding of H.264 video. Helps take the load off the CPU. And yeah, it's a separate part. So both AMD and Intel offer that facility in hardware. People benchmark with Intel because it still delivers the most FPS. So yes and no. It can depend on the application. And while like in terms of single core like gaming performance, I think the 3950X, AMD's newest desktop chip, is pretty on par with the 9900KS. Like I said, depends on the game that you're playing, what engine that's based on, and optimizations and stuff. But yeah, yes and no. Marketing money as in the discounts they offer big partners to not go with the competition, almost like another form of bribery. Yeah, I mean, so there's a thing called MDF, Market Development Funds, which is where someone like Intel, AMD, Nvidia, Samsung for their SSDs actually is quite often will pay someone like Asus or MSI, Acer, I don't know, someone like that. Even people like Origin PC. If you've watched Linus's channel any somewhat recently, they did, I think it was a series of ads for Origin PC that were featuring Samsung SSDs. That's because Samsung paid Origin to pay Linus for ad space. So someone like Samsung, someone like Intel, someone like AMD, Nvidia, those sorts of companies go to their partners and say, hey, you can have X amount of money if you do some advertising with our branding, in your product. Often, yes, that does come with like rebates, discounts, that kind of thing. So they the partner still gets charged full price, but they don't pay full price to someone like Intel, which effectively counts as another MDF type exchange. But yeah, it's a funny world, marketing. It's one that I don't particularly enjoy, especially because a lot of it is not exactly the clearest and how do I market that? Most ethical at times. That was not quite as much of an issue in terms of ethics. It was just the communication wasn't the best. Powered by a power supply. Nice. Nice. I'll always go for a price performance, and I don't like to pay for the name. That's a very fair and very sensible way to look at it. Definitely. It's something. Wow, the camera really is making me blown out like hell. That's that is the approach that I like to adopt when purchasing stuff myself. So yeah, fair. Oh wow, under the sea. See, the problem is if I do normal exposure and then bring it down to 6, it starts to flicker no matter what I do. But if I put it on auto, it overexposes like hell. I can't really do much. I guess I can bring the brightness down and press that. What does that do? What about this one? That slider doesn't work. Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna leave it alone now. It's better, probably. It's like my forehead isn't quite brilliant white now. Oh, it is now. Depends how far I sit. If I sit back here, it's fine. If I sit here, oh. Any ideas why keyboard keeps randomly disconnecting? It's making gaming very hard. Tried different USB ports, tried disabling Corsair Service 2, but no luck. Have you, has it ever had, water spill on it or anything? Hypothetically, that could be a hardware fault, like the keyboard is, the keyboard's controller is sort of malfunctioning or damaged, and is disconnecting. You can also check out the various Windows logs um, to see if it's your PC that's making a disconnect or if it's the keyboard that's dropping itself off. Um, so yeah, have you heard of the Coolmaster Master Keys Pro L? The Master Keys Pro L gang. Me likey. Me likey a lot. I mean, if I was gonna recommend you to buy a new keyboard, the one that I would recommend would be the Wooting 2, personally. Nice. Um. So I'll answer which logs. Um. I'm fairly certain that there is some level of logging of USB device like device manager type stuff. You'll have to Google like Windows USB logs or something like that, or device logs, and see if you can find what I think exists, but I could be mistaken. And did you guys see the Alienware UFO? I think it's called. That's the sort of Nintendo Switch looking thing, right? Because that looked pretty interesting. It's only something like a 1650 or whatever. And I should also add that Razer have made something similar to that. Now I can't remember if that ever became an actual product you could buy or if it was like a concept. But Razer did make a project, something that was a handheld, tablet esque with some gaming controllers, that certainly looked interesting. But I think at the time the graphics power that was available really wasn't that much. Actually, no, I remember rightly. The Project UFO thing, Alienware UFO, is only using Intel integrated graphics, if I remember rightly, which is even more insane. um, it's a bit short for Snake. Like I have played every now and again, but it's just a bit like short. It's a bit. Also, hello Hayden. How you doing? How's things? uh, it's saved as my fourth programming setting. My fourth programming setting is a key that falls off every time I accidentally reach for something. I'm pretty sure that the actual key, the backing is cracked. Yeah. So it doesn't stay on much, but it is Snake. Yeah. What have I been doing? Like I said, I've been what you call it? Testing the why has the name escaping me? Valve Index, which is my shiny new VR headset. It's now 1440p per eye, or 1440 by 1600 per eye, and 120 140 hertz, which is actually really nice. It's a really good change from the standard Vive, which was 1080p per eye and 90 hertz. It's something that I didn't think I would notice all that much, but the crispness and the smoothness is a pretty big deal, a pretty big difference. So very fun to play on. I don't know whether I could justify the £919 it costs to buy the full kit new, but you know, pretty awesome though. I bought a Ducky 1-2 TKL Skyline. That's a long name. I'm very happy with it. I couldn't find the Keychron 2 K2 you suggested. Okay, fair play. I mean, the Keychron 2 is certainly a good shout, and likely cheaper than the Ducky, but Duckies, as far as I'm aware anyway, are incredibly well built. So that should last you for a while, which is always good. So yeah. Hello, DevelopX. How you doing? How are you? Not too bad. Thank you. How about yourself? And Goofy, the Keychron 2, I did a video on it. So if you search Keychron, which I'm currently doing, there you go. You can have a look at it. There should be a link to it in the description of that as well. You can buy it, or you can look at it on their website. But yeah. What are your thoughts on the RX 5700 XT? Rumors are the graphics card are not being manufactured by AMD now. So my assumption or my understanding of AMD's product development structure and product manufacturing structure was that AMD, I suppose they don't sell reference cards, so they probably made the PCBs. I know that a lot of people, a lot of AIBs make like custom versions of their PCBs. AMD just supplies the chip, and then the AIB, so someone like Asus or Gigabyte or Sapphire or XFX will go and design a PCB around that, and then source all of the parts, components, and build it themselves. Hello, Banter, how you doing? But the as long as you're buying a non-reference design, I don't see there being much of a problem with buying a 5700 XT right now. That is a lot of requests for Jar Jar. Jam Jar, nice. We'll have to go. Thanks again for answering my questions. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Catch you later. If you got any questions, we're here every week. Now, what would you like me to say in Jar Jar? Also, for those of you who are wondering what this meme is, I have a impression of Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars. These guys quite like it. Yeah. Cool. What about a Ryzen 2700X in 2020? It's now £157. That seems like a really good deal. The only competitor to that realistically is either the 3700X or the what you call it, the like 3700X kind of thing. And so those two are the other options you could look at. Of course, the 3600X, you don't have, you're kind of missing 2 cores, 4 threads there, but it's a good bit faster single thread. I'm also not sure if the 3600X is even that cheap. I'll double check actually. That was Task Manager, not Amazon. Let me just double check. Yeah, so that's £190. So realistically, a 2700X is still a fantastic value for money, especially at that sort of price point. So yeah. Hello, Mitchell. Would you buy yourself a RTX 3080 Ti when it drops? I tend to not buy PC hardware, mostly because I have a habit of getting sent it. Also, I would certainly have a look and review it, kind of thing. See what it's like to perform. But in terms of purchasing it myself, I've only just swapped to a 1080 Ti, so I'm already behind the curve. So personally, probably not. But I'd certainly love to have a look at it. when it, you know, pops into existence. Farrago, hello, just joined. Not sure if you covered CES 2020 yet, but what are your thoughts on it? I think everything just slowed down a bit. No groundbreaking innovations on the PC or mobile front. I might be wrong. So I suppose the start of CES was the AMD announcement, really. And that was, you know, they announced the 64 core Threadripper, which is a pretty big deal. And the mobile Ryzen 4th gen, which is Ryzen 3rd gen with a 4th gen name. I don't know. But so that was a very good start. The only other real sort of innovations I saw were stuff like Dell's UFO. We've been talking about that a little bit. That's the like Nintendo Switch, but it's a gaming PC, but it uses Intel integrated graphics, the like Iris Pro graphics, which are actually pretty impressive for the size and power. That was pretty cool. And then otherwise, I didn't see all that much that kind of amazed me. From my sort of industry insider perspective, Computex is where most of the innovations happen in terms of like PC hardware. So that's where you'll probably see a lot of announcements, a lot of new and interesting tech, and it's the one trade show in the year that I actually I'm interested in going to properly, which again is something that I'd like to do this year if plausible. So yeah, that's my my main thoughts on this CES as a show, I suppose. One website, I won't say which, they're selling this 1700X for £312. That's not a great value for money. Some of these guys like it. Nice. My mate recently got a new PC. Asked him what's in it. He said a 2080 Ti and some jizz. I have no clue. Nice. Oh, Mitchell was sad about the Sony press conference because they only showed a logo and not, you know, a system or anything like that. Am I wrong in saying no? They're not going to E3, are they? Or at least I don't think they have a booth or a talk planned. Am I still right in that? I could be wrong. That's impressive on your friend. Did he build it or did he buy it? I assume bought it if he doesn't know what's in it. And also, see you, Goofy. I appreciate you're probably already gone, but catch you next week. Yeah, I don't think they're going, which is crazy. Now that's either an accident or that's what's probably more likely a calculated and quite arrogant or cocky approach to the market, I suppose. I suppose if they're not planning on launching the console anytime soon, you know, they're planning on launching it, say October, November time. It will be, you know, the kind of, there's no point in talking about it now and getting everyone hyped up about it if they're not going to launch it for 6 months. But yeah, Sony will not be at E3 according to most YouTubers and the IGN YouTube channel. Yeah, so that's interesting. Bantery spot from console to PC for Fortnite. Ouch. I talked to some legit children recently and they said that Fortnite's dead, so GG. Fair enough. I assume that means that he bought it instead of built it. Yeah. I mean, fair play. At least he's in the PC Master Race now. The fact that he spent £2,000 and he doesn't know what's in it is mildly disconcerting, but you know, if he's happy, he's happy. If he's getting the performance he wants. Wow, I forgot about that. You can certainly try. So tomorrow's video is finally the third gen Ryzen Hackintosh. It's technically that system, although with a different SSD in there, because right now that's a Windows system. In fact, actually, no, there's an RTX 2070 Super in that. So no, but it's a 3900X with an RX 470 actually, because that's what I had available. So that is a Hackintosh that will be coming out tomorrow. It's a guide on exactly how to do it and all the steps you need. So yeah. Wait, so you have to put the video on Patreon early? That's epic. Yes, I mean it'd probably be a, well, not Patreon exclusive, but you know, still. Actually, the Corsair A500 review will also be going out pretty early, and if you're on Patreon, you'll get the ad-free version because there will be an ASRock ad in there. So if you want to enjoy not hearing me rattle on about ASRock Z390 motherboards for 30 seconds straight, then you know, check out the Patreon. Jar Jar Binks Hackintosh, that would be painful, man. Ouch. Yeah. I heard rumors of DDR5 RAM coming out. Is it real? So as far as I'm aware, that's not a thing right now. There are it was roughly expected that DDR5 should be out around about now. I think AMD said that they were planning on changing their platform. So the changing from the AM4 platform right around PCIe Gen, I think it was 4, maybe 5, and around when DDR5 would be a thing. But there is no motherboards that support that right now. There is no RAM DIMMs available right now. There is probably a standard available for manufacturers to manufacture with that, but yeah. And thank you, Chris and Ish, for the links. There's also this t-shirt. I just hid the top of it. You can check that out. I designed this in Blender, and you can check out the animation in the how to get Black Friday deals video. But yeah, very happy with how it ended up turning out. You know, Techium GB logo, but it's not quite, you know, in your face. There's a little yeah, Techium GB thing on the back, but yeah, you can check that out if you want. There's actually quite a few other designs. There's hoodies, t-shirts. There's the GPU tee, which is quite cool. The stripes one, which ships from the USA, which means it can take a little while. But yeah, I don't know. Or Hollister today. Ooh, hurt. Fair play. Ow, sorry. My throat's already dying. Oh, I think I recorded for 30 minutes straight. For the review today. So, yeah. Banter. So CD Keys is someone who I've purchased from myself personally. CD Keys is a significantly better site as far as I'm aware. I have actually purchased from Kinguin recently, which wasn't too bad. G2A is definitely the worst offender in terms of being just a really shady and nasty place to buy keys and stuff. I'm fairly certain that CD Keys doesn't make you pay any racketeering. I mean, protection money. I mean, insurance. When you buy the key, if you buy a key and it's broken, you get a new one, or like you contact support and they fix it, rather than places like G2A and Kinguin where you have to buy the like guard fee, which is just nasty. So yeah, the only thing that I found with CD Keys is that their library is not as big. They don't carry every game on the planet, so that's certainly something to keep an eye out for. I moved from Oxford to Namibia, and my question is, can I find your shirts on Amazon? So no, they're manufactured through a company called Teespring. In theory, Teespring ship worldwide, so you can get them shipped to Namibia, but yeah, they shouldn't be on Amazon. At least I haven't put them there. The insurance guard is a bit of an admission of guilt. I know, right? I know. And I've used CD keys lots and had no issues. Nice. That's fair. Do you actually have an RGB wheelchair like your Patreon says? No, we didn't hit that. We didn't hit that target. Just thought of a way I could do it though. Easily, anyway. I know. Terrible. Hashtag yet. Oh yeah. One day. uh in terms of videos coming out, so like I said, tomorrow's video is the Hackintosh guide. Monday's video is the MSI GL65 laptop. A lot of people were asking for that, so I finally got it back in. I'll be checking that out. And Wednesday's video is the Corsair A500, the air cooler. So do check those out. Actually, I'm feeling a little down with YouTube and the channel, I suppose. My concern, I suppose, is that I have 53,000 subscribers, 53 and a half. And most videos get a couple hundred to a couple thousand views in the first week or so. And what surprises me is that even for stuff like laptop reviews, which are normally my most popular category of videos beyond maybe monitor reviews, I had a laptop review that went out that currently has like 300 views total, and actually about half of those only were from unsubscribed people, not from subscribers that got notifications and stuff. And what's weird is that according to YouTube, something like 4,000 or 5,000 people have the bell notification enabled for my channel, and yet, like, I appreciate, not all of those 4,000 or 5,000 people will want to watch every video they get a notification for. That's fair, that's understandable. What I don't quite understand is why only a couple hundred people would watch a laptop review, when, like I said, that's one of the most popular categories of video on the channel. And there are a lot of instances like that, and I think that the main thing is that when I publish a video, I have no idea how well it's going to do, not because of how much effort I put into it or how well tested or written or edited the video is. It seems to be a complete crapshoot for how well videos do, and it's quite like disheartening when you put a lot of effort into making these videos and then they get 300 views, and like I'm certainly grateful for everything that I have and the job that I do. It's just that, like, I just can't wrap my head around how I have 53,000 people who have pressed a button to say I want to see more videos, and then only like 200 of them watch video, like every video kind of thing. So yeah, I'm confused. Ordered a PG27 VQ. What are your thoughts on it? So I have the PG27 9Q, which is IPS. I don't remember what the a PG27 VQ is. Let me have a look. I probably shouldn't. 4040p G-Sync. Okay. Is it IPS? TN. Right. Is that a new one then? But fair play. Asus monitors are pretty decent. Oh, it's one of the curved ones, right? So TN is possibly not the best panel to have like a curve on, just because viewing angles aren't perfect. But overall, Asus does tend to make pretty decent monitors. Like I said, I'm gaming on a PG27 9Q. 1440p, 144 to 165 hertz for me is really the sweet spot I recommend. So yeah, overall, assuming there are no other issues with it, you know, ghosting or whatever else, I highly recommend. Don't worry, they'll get views as time goes on. Yes, they will. It's just the fact that very few people relatively watch them new, which then means that it takes 6 months for them to get, you know, kind of to go anywhere. And what's weird is that YouTube has a habit of just picking up old videos and starting to recommend them, such to the tune of like well over 1 million views on the Orbweaver Chroma, just over time, which is just very confusing. The Triton 500 has 16k views in 8 months. That's not bad. Yeah, so that's one of the better ones. The problem is that the Acer, what's it called? Acer Studio laptop, the Concept D5, has like 400 views in a couple of weeks or a week or two, compared to the Triton that has like 16k views. So yeah, confusing. It is boiling in here. I've got a VG25AQR. Right, so that's 1080p 25 inch 240 hertz or 180 or 144. I can never remember with Asus's model names. 165. Right, fair play. Yeah, okay. Is that one of the ones that they marketed as having a 0.5 millisecond panel response time, but that was 0.5 milliseconds like minimum recorded time, not average like everyone else. That is a pretty reasonable purchase. So yeah, fair play. Fair play. Fair play. Yeah, not sure how they did that. Yeah, that's like when companies quote moving picture response time, so MPRT, instead of gray to gray or black to white response time. Yeah, that's a fun one. And when they quote gray to gray or black to white, they never quote the other way, like the release time. So it can be 1 or 2 milliseconds to go from, you know, black to full white, but then it takes 16 seconds for it to go back to black again. It's like, sure, you can turn it on, but then it doesn't turn off for 16 seconds or 16 milliseconds. Yeah, so it's not great. Anyway, that is our usual hour. Thank you guys for sticking around, for asking all your questions and all that. I will be back next week. Plenty of like I said, videos Monday or Friday, Monday, and Wednesday for you to check out, including the Hackintosh guide tomorrow. So do take a look at that. And yeah, I will catch you guys next week. See ya. Bye bye.